Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. Welcome to this evening's game of the VS Gaming Masters. It is going to be LeetPro versus WRG, one of the two top teams in SA as they go head to head. I am Jabba, joined by Scarpy. I know you and I have been anticipating to play this game on a Friday evening, on top of all things, starting now. I mean, if you've had a hectic day at Graph this week, go get yourselves some takeaways, sit in front of your computer, and we're going to bring you this epic game. From all the roster changes, Scarpy, how do you see this game going?
Oh man, before I jump into that, I agree with you so much. I just regret not going to buy some brewskis for this game because this is going to be a stinger. I think this is going to be going into 3 games, I hope. But yeah, the roster changes, big things here. We were discussing a little bit earlier. You were saying it must feel a bit weird for Chidawi to be playing against his former team that he was captain of. But LeetPro definitely having the all-star team, I'd say, and White Rabbit Gaming having a lot of old names. Schlinky, he's been around for very long, one of the top tier players in South Africa, heavily underrated in my opinion. Odu has been a good captain. He's always been up there in the high tier. TKC, up and coming player that's been around for so long, worked his way up until he's found himself in one of the high echelon teams in the Masters. So I'm really looking forward to this. I think Chelsea and who else am I forgetting is in WRG? It's
Strike.
Chelsea and
Strike.
Well, Strike. Yes, okay, Strike. Strike, someone we haven't seen for quite some time. It feels.
It has been. I mean, he was part of.
I haven't cast him play. I don't know where he was previously, but he too is a former Energy Esports player with Odu, so they have played with one another at a time. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out for them.
Well, it's going to be a cracker of a game, regardless of the fact I don't have to make any promises this time around. This is pretty much the TR finals, ladies and gents. I mean, this is what we're about to experience, the two best teams in SA. But let's jump into the drafts. I know there has been a couple of updates up until this point. So we've seen a couple of bans. Warlock, one of those Fatal Bonds, has just been an absolute wrecker of dreams and hopes in most team fights. We see the Io also being banned out. Anything that particularly stands out to you there?
I think the Warlock, I think a solid ban all around. Again, a lot of people are fearing that sort of dual pickup where people go for that Warlock plus Spec, and that's a very strong lane, difficult lane to deal with. You can just keep casting the heal on the Spec. You can't really dual lane into it. So Warlock is a great ban because it functions with any sort of core, and I think that's the element that you want to remove is that constant sustain for those cores. So I like that ban. Pangolier, quite interesting. I do remember LeetPro playing that, and they were very successful with it. So I think that's there's a good reason behind the ban there for the side of WRG. But this is a sweet little combo coming at you for LeetPro. Bane Mirana, of course, good old days. Sleep into Arrow. That is pretty scary or daunting.
That is a devastating duo between the two.
Yeah, and again, a very strong dual lane coming at you from White Rabbit Gaming as well. Nightstalker plus Undying. And Nightstalker's taking a couple of nerfs lately, so we'll see how that pans out for them. But I think in the discussion of the Nightstalker nerfs, it doesn't really change how the hero is played. It's just slight nerfs to him. So I think the hero is still very viable.
Isn't it like a mana increase? Isn't it like a mana increase on his crippling fear or something like that? I'm not up to date with the actual numbers or the actual changes that were made, but I think it was I think crippling fears now costs a little bit more mana, so is maybe restricted the roaming potential from the Nightstalker. Or do you think he's still going to be the normal roaming Nightstalker, absolutely devastating your mid and just getting stuff done around the map?
The thing is, he's just slightly less effective during the day. He doesn't get that mini stun during the day, and darkness no longer sets enemy vision to fixed amount. So these are things. The darkness was a bit OP. I feel. I think that's a nerf that was been bound to come for ages, and the fact that Nightstalker is just going to be slightly less effective in the laning stage in the daytime periods is probably where the bigger positive comes in. So, or positive to the nerf, negative for the hero. But yeah, it's still a strong lane. Nightstalker, Undying, if they do lane those two together, very difficult to deal with. And I think people are throwing the Nightstalker back into their position 3, which is fantastic. I've always liked Nightstalker or Balinar as that pos 1 even in Dota 1 that was his position. He was a position 1 hero. Very, very
Wow.
strong at that time, but been
It's
nerfed a little bit now.
such a long time since I've heard that name Balinar. That takes me back to the days of Twilight when Nightstalker was still being run by that name. But
It's a beautiful name.
it is, but I mean, I hadn't heard it for ages. And if you had actually asked me, Jabba, what was Nightstalker's actual name? I would have sat here for days and tip of your tongue, you just say Balinar. So, I mean, he was a really a big hero in, like you say, Dota 1 days when he was played as a core, that big hard right clicker. Now he's played more as that roamer. So we'll see. A lot of our discussion has been revolved around the Nightstalker, I think, just purely because of what the changes have been to him. But let's jump back to the bans here quickly. I mean, Lena, Brood being banned out, Kotl, the Abaddon.
Yeah.
What are they trying to achieve here?
Brood, I think I've actually, when I was watching TI qualifiers, I saw a lot of teams last picking this Brood, and it absolutely demolishes teams. I think a few good games that I watched last night, and Brood was really doing well. So I'm all for that ban. I think it's just something you don't really want to play into. If you're planning to draft and it has no answers to a Brood, don't allow for it, because Brood's still extremely strong. Yes, he doesn't go invis underneath those webs, but he's still extremely powerful within them. So as a mid laner, you're just going to lose a tower. No rotations are really going to make much of a difference because that hero is so quick. Very, very difficult to deal with. So I'm all for that. Keeper of the Light, I think it's a reasonable ban all around. I think it's also a hero that LeetPro do like to play. Abaddon is something that's a bit curious for me. I'm not too certain about that ban, but I'm sure they have their reasoning behind it.
All right. Well, talk to me about the Nugget. Now, sometimes we've seen the Nugget being played in the support position, using that in snare to actually, it could be another form of setting up for the arrow, but is it going to be that position 4 Nugget, or we're going to see it going to be a full-on position 1 core? We are only the third pick into the draft for LeetPro. Could be a little bit of a wham bam, as they're still potentially looking for their mid at least. What are they going to be? All right, well,
That's interesting.
I suppose the Gyro could still go mid though. So does that kind of answer our question for the Nugget though?
I think they're going to just throw the Mirana into the mid lane. They probably feel confident that Depi will find farm with that hero, and then throw that Gyrocopter into the safe lane, and then look for something to dual lane with this Naga. I think the pos for Naga is just too strong. Going for that pos 1 Naga, it's a little bit slow online. I think you get a lot more out of a Naga in that pos 4 position. Once he gets that Mithril Hammer up as well, it's extremely powerful. So I do expect it to be pos 4, but it could be pos 1. I don't think RDK is much of a Naga player though, if I remember. Or I haven't seen him play Naga.
That is a fair point.
Memory
Very fair point.
hero, so.
Death Prophet though being picked up for WRG, they go for the Death Prophet. That's probably going to be a TKC hero, something that's going to deal reasonably well with the Naga illusions, depending on what position the Naga is going to be played. We're still not sure yet, or any other kind of mantas that may come out for the side of LeetPro. Do you agree? Do you think that they're lacking a little bit of right click at the moment? Nightstalker can do his fair share, but I don't think it's going to be enough to actually deal with LeetPro's lineup.
I feel like Death Prophet's also just a good pick into Naga for other reasons. You can, if the Naga doesn't get the sleep off in time and Exorcism goes out, that's going to force him to back out. If she gets a leash off, that hero has to run out of the leash and then come back, and then the sleep duration's running out. Also pretty tanky to deal with these things. And you look what's going to be happening potentially in the mid lane. That Bane's more than likely going to roam in there very early. And let's say level 3, level 4 on the Mirana, come there, bit of sleep down, and secure a kill. Now, one of the heroes that are difficult to kill in that situation is a Death Prophet. And another bonus there is that the level 10 talents is going to provide him with some magic resistance, which is essential in this game. If we look, there's only one form of pure damage, a bit of right click, but a lot of magical damage coming out. So I do imagine he's going to go in that direction.
Well, they do finalize the WRG's pickup with the Nature's Prophet. They do finalize their draft with that. Waiting on LeetPro to see what their fifth and final pickup will be. I know you touched on the Death Prophet and the Naga Siren. What I'm a little bit concerned about is if the Death Prophet pops her exorcism, Naga's just going to sleep and then run away while the exorcism just goes off cooldown. Do you maybe think that it's maybe a little bit of a blunder, or do they hoping that the Naga was actually picked more offensively for the sleep than defensively?
Here's the thing, right? Exorcism's duration is still extremely long, so they're not going to hang around underneath Exorcism and wait. So they're more than likely going to be backing themselves on out. They TP out, then you just take an objective with the ultimate on Death Prophet. TPs are on cooldown, you know that, so you feel kind of safe in those situations. They also got Nature's Prophet to punish them if they do have to do anything like that. Nature's Prophet, again, if you're going to use Sleep to TP out, Nature's Prophet can, again, just look to take an objective. So you've got to be a bit careful about those Sleep usages, but yes, you are right. They can, especially in a team fight situation, as soon as they see that pop, they can say, okay, let's back out, wait for that to go down, we can fight again, because that's really the biggest ultimate that anyone has on the side of WRG. So once that's down there, we'll feel a lot more safe to fight into that lineup.
Well, we mentioned about cooldowns on ultimates. Death Prophet's ultimate isn't extremely long, but it is a worthy wait to actually take another team fight. Whereas Gyrocopter, his cooldown comes off cooldown I think every 60 seconds or something.
Yeah, very very quick, and oof, Underlord. Yeah, 60 seconds I believe, or 70. Something short, much shorter than Death Prophets. And it's, again, Gyrocopter is one of those few cores that you'll actually find rotating quite early and looking for some success. And interestingly enough, they're actually throwing that Gyrocopter into the mid lane, it seems, and they're putting the Mirana in the safe. So, whoever's going to be in that safe lane. So it's Undying, Nightstalker. I think they're going to have a very tough time, especially if that Naga decides to also join the fray, because the lockdown is just ridiculously long, especially if they can find level 2s. Very big problems.
Now I want your predictions, Scops. Before the game actually begins, waiting for Chidawi to pick up the Naga. Tami, just looking at the draft, ignore the players, ignore the skill of each of the players. Which draft to you seems the strongest?
Ooh, it's actually tough. I think both teams actually have a solid draft here. I don't think there's any major weaknesses. But if I have to go with a team that looks like they're going to be able to finish, or they have a set plan to finish at X time, it's going to be LeetPro. I feel a lot more comfortable with their draft here, and I feel WRG, they need the laning stage to go exceptionally well, and they sort of were countered by the fact that this is going to be a safe lane Mirana plus Bane, so that Undying Nightstalker combo that's so strong is going to have a bit of a tough time there. So I do favor LeetPro a little bit.
All right, well, there you have it from the words and mouth of Scarpy. He feels the LeetPro draft is going to pay off a little bit more dividends than what the side of WRG's is going to be. But we'll wait and we'll see as the game is underway on this beautiful Friday evening. While the game has paused out, let's go around and do the introductions. As on the Radiant will be the side of LeetPro. It's going to be Deppy playing the Gyrocopter. Welp going to be playing the Bane Chidawi, or Dawi. I don't know how he prefers to be called nowadays, but we'll go with Chidawi. That's how I know him. So he'll be playing our Nagasiren. RDK going to be playing the Mirana. And last but not least, it is going to be ACG playing the Uberlord in the offlane. And I just want to say, this build that he has here, the 6 tangos and 3 mangoes, that is my offlane build. The regen on mangoes is absolutely ridiculous. Already getting plus 3.5. I mean, to kill him is going to be absolutely a very tough time. But anyway, nonetheless, Scarpy, take it away for the side of the Dire.
All right, going over to the Dire side, of course, we're going to have the man, the reason for the entire pause. Odu going to be playing over that Nature's Prophet. He's got a gold tier on this, so he's been spamming this here a little bit. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out for him. Sad V. I think that this is Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken, playing over on the Nightstalker. Schlinks.
Yep.
We're playing over here on the Undying. TKC going towards the mid lane on that Death Prophet. And last but not least, Strike going to be playing over here on the line. So back to pause 5 for him. And yeah, you were talking about the mangoes, and it is still exceptional heal. But to think it got nerfed from 1 regen per second to half a regen per second, and just 30 gold less now. So it's interesting to see how it's been picked up a lot more, but I think it's also a form of quick mana, and it gives you just slightly less than what a clarity would if you got a full clarity off. But because the lanes are always so contested these days, having a mango is far more valuable than having a clarity at times.
I mean, it gives you a little bit more. I mean, it gives you the sustain, a little bit of sustain. I mean, 3.5 in lane. You don't take damage for a significant amount of time, and you could be back to full HP within a few minutes if you don't take any damage. So I really, I do appreciate the mango build or the mango items, and I know a couple of my friends that are watching the game would be laughing at the moment because they're like, ACG has been watching and learning from Jabba, or is it the other way around? I don't know yet.
It must be that way around.
It must be that way around. I agree with you, Scarpy.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Sure. I didn't say it with any sarcasm in my voice.
I can't read emotions for nothing. So if you're being sarcastic, I don't get it. I don't get it. Right, so
but you know, it's only 25 mana less than a full duration clarity.
25 mana, is that it?
25 mana less than a full duration clarity. That is something that one must consider, right?
Absolutely.
It's a lot. It's a significant amount. So that's actually. I remember having this discussion with someone and saying, you know, that's why we're seeing so many more mangoes. It's just good value because it reduced from 100 gold to 70, which is, yes, 20 gold more than a clarity, but now we're talking about that regen you get in lane, so it's just provides you with everything you need.
Yeah, well, we're going to see as the game goes on. At the moment, I'm actually just having a look at the player skins. I'm actually focused on Death Prophet TKC's Death Prophet, and it is quite a magnificent skin at the moment. The Courier also doing his job, looking pretty. But anyway, enough of our normal shenanigans. Tell us how the laning phase is going to go. We suspect that RDK is going to be playing in the safe. We're going to put Underlord in the off lane. And pretty much standard things for the side of LeetPro. Can we expect standard things from WRG? Who's going to be their safe lane call? Is it going to be the Odu on the natures?
Yeah. So that's the thing, right? This is really, they lack maybe the right click, but Odu can definitely get it, and we can really see by his build, he's already picked up the Wraith band. A lot of people be like, oh, but it's an intelligence hero. Why would he get a Wraith band? But for obvious reasons, he's going to get that Aquila. The Aquila's fantastic for his treants. His treants can get a lot more out of it. So that's interesting. One of the things that are nerfed about Nature's Prophet lately, you can't pull the wave with your treants anymore. Creep don't aggro until they meet. So you can't aggro those creep and secure yourself a free level. So it's a nerfed Nature's Prophet as maybe an off laner, but as a safe laner, it's still fine. There's no problem there.
Okay, well, that I wasn't aware of. It looks like a little bit of a contest coming in here. Schlinky, Chelsea, trying to secure themselves the LeetPro's run. RDK Chadawi just hiding in the backgrounds. They do have that deep ward, which they may be able to sneak down earlier. In the meantime, top lane though, Whelp taking quite a bit of a rest here from Whelp. We're going to try and push it down. Can they actually secure the ruin? ACG throwing down the Firestorm, and they're going to get themselves their own bounty ruin. And pretty much, if I'm correct, it goes
3-1.
3 apiece.
Oh,
3-1. 3-1. Wow, so
3 apiece.
Well, 3. I mean 3-1. I mean 3-1. It's a Friday evening, but I'm a couple of drops down. But regardless, I mean 3-1. LeetPro actually surrendering to WRG, securing themselves those 3 bounty runs.
Yeah, I'm gonna find this mid matchup very interesting for me because TKC, I know him as a great player, but I think it's a common consensus that Deppy is probably one of the best mids currently in South Africa. So very difficult matchup for him. But I've seen TKC really give some high difficulty opponents a really tough time in the mid lane. So we'll see what he can do here, especially on his puck. That's something I want to see. I want to see TKC puck, but unfortunately, I think puck's not in a great place to be picked up all that much today. So that's a bit unfortunate.
It looks like a couple of tussles happening around the map. We're going to focus on the bot lane at the moment. The DK coming down from Chadawi. It looks like Chadawi is going to actually be supporting RDK here, using that net to maybe set up a potential arrow, or potentially use it defensively as Marana gets jumped on. can always go in, but actually deciding to level up the tide. Did I call
Lynx
it right?
is hitting
Riptide, yeah.
these decays though, man. 16 strength. Hitting double decays almost every time. That's really good for them in that lane. That's really gonna slow down. Because one of the things with the Naga is you can run at heroes because Naga has just got such high armor, sitting with a 7 starting armor. So it's no problem for you to trade right clicks, but when you have 450 health, trading right clicks is just not that much value. It doesn't matter if you have high armor.
It doesn't. It doesn't help that much. And now, here we go. Already first blood in the top lane. ACG taking down Lion now. Odu trying to see if he can get the return kill on Whelp. While playing really well, falling back. Odu taking a couple of right clicks here from ACG. Pops the mango, brings down the Firestorm. Not going to be enough as Strike TP's in. Is going to try and stop this ACG harass. And that is all that's going to be written. But ACG picking up first blood for the side of LeetPro. And they already got themselves on the board.
Yeah, really good for them. But bot lane, Shlowy, he goes down. And that's a really early point in Soul Rip. I don't think he expected that. And then the burst coming out from the Night Stalker as well, securing him that kill. And of course, he was extremely low. A lot of strength has been stolen here by the Undying. He was sitting on 12 plus. And he's done a fantastic job at just catching out those double situations. But oh dear. Oh dear, did you see that?
No, I missed it. I was watching top. ACG almost went down to Nature's and to Lion. So no, what was? Do give us a rundown. What
Right,
transpired?
Nets into arrow failed. Let's not.
Oh wow.
Let's not point any fingers.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
There was a range creep in the path. We could have gone to the right of it, but unfortunately, I think because you're rushing against the level 1 net, you just cast it a bit quick and maybe didn't account for the hitbox of the creep, or the hitbox of the arrow actually, so yeah, baby steps.
Well, I'm looking at mid lane as well. Depi also quite low HP going up against TKC. He doesn't have a lot of mana, so spamming out those Crypt Swarms, doing its thing, just to try and maybe intimidate Depi. Can you intimidate Depi?
Yeah, Depi is still 15 CS ahead of TKC right now, with 9 denies. 0 denies on TKC, so he's not all too worried. It's an entire level difference, and an entire level, so Depi is really just dominating this matchup right now, so bit unfortunate for TKC. And yeah, he's going to have a tough time as the game progresses. So Depi's probably going to just fly himself in some regen, and he'll be fine. In fact, in the career right now, it comes in Wand, Clarity is everything he needs, but top lane is a bit of a brawl. Odu's going to find himself in a bit of trouble. The trades, he just can't trade into ACG with this Atrophy Aura. They do find the kill on the line, so Strike going down. Odu's still low, but ACG get himself one out of that one, so gain a positive trade here for this top lane. Oh, Odu actually playing some sneaky games here. Looks for the kill. Oh, he's got enough.
Oh, wow.
Man,
that's
good.
That is a really good trade. I mean, they do get the line, but they get the kill on ACG. What's made Bane all of a sudden one of these top tier picks again? I mean, at one stage he was a top tier pick, and now he's back in the meta. What is it that's done that?
I think solely the fact that this meta is really looking strongly at dual lanes. Dual lane, Bane really thrives in the situations. He's going to shut down one of the heroes, allowing you to either concentrate on another. He has a large burst with his brain sap. And even into the late game, he does have an ability. He goes through BKB. So good hero all around in that regard. So I think that's more than likely the reasons why he does get picked up.
Well, looking at bot
yeah,
lane,
we've seen it a lot.
I mean, I was just watching bot lane, and this pair, this Night Stalker Undying pair, is absolutely devastating. I mean, RDK went from almost full HP to a third in a matter of seconds. So, I mean, this off lane is also doing really well. Top lane, though, the Nightmare did come out into Odu. Firestorm came down, swapped the Nightmare a little bit too soon there, ACG. But, yeah, I mean, so far, it seems like a really even matchup.
Yeah, you see, here's one of the things with this lane. The Bane doesn't do that well into the Nature's Prophet, because Nature's Prophet can use his treants to take the sleep off of himself.
Ah, valid.
As we saw Odu did there, so that's a bit of a poor one. But mid, big rotations coming in, and TKC's in trouble. But he's actually fine. Rotations have come in. Schlinks is gonna join the fray, and that's all she wrote. So Just a rotation from the Naga. I actually thought there was another hero there, so still nothing coming of it though. So TKC managing to survive, which is pretty important considering the fact that he's so far behind in the laning stage.
Well, he does have those infused raindrops, and they do the work that is necessary, avoiding that damage from the missile. Still taking a little bit of damage from the flak cannon. Looking at bot lane though, Chelsea actually going a little bit deep here. No, actually flies over the trees, deciding not to jump that one, getting that plus armor damage, fighting under the tower. He decides not to actually go for RDK, but he's got no more regen. RDK in a little bit of a pickle at the moment. Gonna have to fly himself out some regen, I'm sure. And there it is. Tangos, an Aquila, infused raindrops. So he's looking at just sustaining the lane. Mid lane though, we do have the rocket coming out onto strike. Just chasing the lion away. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, Lion's still a sluggish hero. I feel. I find it hard to see what they're gonna really do with him. He's good against Naga illusions, but this again is a pos 4 Naga, so you're not really worrying about those issues. But big rotations towards the mid lane. This could be positive for both teams here. They should make a trade, but TKC, he's doing a really good job at keeping himself alive, and they haven't actually found anything yet. They actually do bring down TKC, where they lose the Naga on the back of that one, and looking for a second one. That will be Strike to go down, and this should be the death of Deppy though. So Deppy will fall. 2-for-2 exchange. They're looking for a little bit more. Yeah, Chelsea chases down. Chelsea must be a bit careful. Yeah, they could turn around very quickly onto him. There's 21 charges on the Spain, so got to get himself out of dodge. But a good trade, I think, for
Well,
for the side of WRG, I feel.
Yeah, well, they did get the kill on TKC. They also lost Dippy as well. They had that fake TP coming in from ACG, maybe just preventing Whelp from going down. He was getting chased upon, but then Chadawi actually just rock up mid to assist Whelp. The nightmare does come out onto to Dippy. The homing missile is out. Flak hadn't been used out. TP coming in from Mummy, but that Spirit Siphon keeping TKC alive. There's the net. Call down being used out, but still so much damage. Not enough to bring down Dippy, but Odu comes to the fray. Right click's coming down, and there you have it. Oh, Whelp, one more right click. The nightmare going to be used out. One more right click. Whelp secures himself that kill, but now he has to get out. Schlinky just waiting to pop down that DK and that Riptide, and that's going to be enough as Whelp bites the dust. Chelsea actually picking up the kill on that one, and before you know it, LeetPro down 2.
Yeah, and this is one of the things, very mobile team they have. This Nature's Prophet can always join the fray very quickly, can TP in, TP back out, and Night Stalker extremely quick. And the Undying has got his CP on the hot button there, so now looking for a kill here onto RDK. RDK has been silenced up, but he will have enough to be able to pounce himself, and in fact uses Midnight Shadow.
Well,
be out of dodge.
That was actually a good usage. They actually want to look at turning this. They throw out the arrow. They're going to catch out the Enfeeble out onto the Night Stalker. This is Big Thomas down. RDK taking quite a bit of damage there from the Giants.
Oh.
The Wraith is going to be enough. Bring him down. Nightmare and Snare used up, but Chadawi, he's been Spirit Siphoned out. They've lost the RDK. They've lost the Night Stalker, but they may lose a third as Odu picks up the last right click there onto the Naga. And that is a big problem here for the side of LeetPro. Whelp trying to get out. Schlinks dropping down that deep ward, seeing what action's happening behind the tower, and good rotations coming out from WRG. They are now sitting 1k in the lead, sitting 8 and 6 after the 10-minute mark. That puts Ruins up on the map, and still available. Bot lane though.
Oh my word! Arrow failure again, but it's at least they secured the kill this time around.
Arrow failure
after the sleep.
It sounds like a spaceship mission error. Like Houston, we have a problem. The landing arrow has not hit. And we're having problems.
Yeah, definite arrow has now just gone to the side. But also a big thing that happened in that team fight, I don't know if you saw it, but the Undying actually denied his tombstone. That could have been 200 gold, or 150 gold. What is it? 150 gold. That could have gone straight into their pockets for the trade. And he denied that one away from them. So, in fact, the Naga Siren died because he thought, okay, if I kill the tombstone, the value is good enough. But it was actually denied by Schlink, so well played there by him.
No, I did not actually pick that up. That's why I have you, Scarpy. For the eyes that I fail at, the vision that I do not see, you are there to back my play. That comes from
everyone everything that's happened in the entire game is what you're saying.
Yeah, well, bot lane, Enfeeble used up onto Chelsea. Going to be kept alive. Tombstone down again, silenced out. RDK not going to be able to do anything. Chadawi going to miss his Riptide, but he's going to try and fight it down. The Ript, this time, the Tomb did get taken out. He's going to try and TP away. Nothing to actually bring him down, and he's going to be able to get away. Unbelievable TP plays coming in from Schlinks. And so far, that is the most riskiest play I have seen thus far.
And they killed Deppy in that trade. They killed Deppy in the bot lane. They TP'd into the tree line. I caught that one out. So, but mid lane actually a bit of a brawl happening at ACG. Get out. But yeah, TP'd in, set up with the lion. Finger was used, and that was the death of Deppy there. So WRG looking pretty good.
Budawi looked like he wanted to run down the strike there. The homing missile is out. Nature's Wrath being used out. Rocket probably going to be brought down here. It's actually going to connect. And the boys from WRG holding high ground. Still not breaking that deficit yet. Still just a 2-kill deficit at the moment. Pings do come out here in the bot lane for RDK. He's going to actually Moonlight Shadow up. Prepared for this Chelsea molestation. But there we go. Stops down the Starfall. Silence comes out. Going to try and catch him. DK going to actually connect. And still going to bring him down. Under the Moonlight Shadow. Chelsea smashing apart RDK on the Marana.
Yeah. That's I'm not too sure why he actually went for that one. That was a bit of a dodgy call. Maybe he didn't expect Undying to be there, though. That could be a reason. But again, they got Odu who can just TP in very quickly and do something. Yeah, it's only a level 2 teleportation, so maybe he did count the fact in that should be a cooldown. So I suppose it's not the end of the world.
What does drums being picked up on Odu signify to us? Does this mean they want to push early? Does this mean that they... what does this tell us? But before that happens, just having a look in the top lane, the rotations come out. Shadawi has been sheeped up. Chelsea there comes Odu. TP's in. The Sprout is out. Silence out on Naga. Can't put herself to sleep. Going to be able to... Oh, the clutch sleep. Oh, the TP out. Shadawi. Go, baby,
man.
go. All right, so it looks like Chadawi wants to compete against Schlink's amazing TP out skills.
Yeah, man, that was close. That was really tight. But you're asking about the drums, and I think the real answer to this is drums is fantastic on Odu, on this hero, because it does provide, of course, a bit of an extra attack speed to his creep, which means he can take down buildings very quickly. It's also great for him in fighting situations, especially team fights. If he does TP in, I can provide a lot to his team. So all around great stats, provides a lot for the hero. I think if you play it safe lane, you're almost every single time going to pick up the drums.
Okay.
Even off lane, I think.
I mean, I've played natures where Midas has been a thing. I mean, that does make him come online a little bit later, so I was thinking maybe the drums kind of signify that WRG want to push earlier. Every time Exorcism is up, make something happen. But I suppose maybe mine high IQ thinking...
well, you can say you're noobness.
You know what? I was going to say that, but then I realized that I'm not noob. Alright, well, top lane, hold that thought. They get the tower. The cooldown's been used out. Odu is going nowhere. Took 4 of the players to bring him down. Now mid lane, though, we have got this trio, quadruple, trying to look for a little bit more. But while that was happening, Odu gets brought down in the back lines in the top lane. And LeetPro, they're just making sure that they can get some lane control, get some objectives done. Prior to this, that was the first objective taken, top tier 1. In the bot lane, they'd already lost their tier 1 as well. So WRG was ahead of in objectives, and now they've caught up pretty nicely. They are sitting 1k a lead in terms of net worth, and 1 kill as well. So things aren't getting too out of hand for both teams here.
Yeah, the one thing is there's a lot of net worth being saturated up by the Nature's Prophet, which means that a lot of the other cores are actually not all that wealthy as it may seem. So this is, the 1k lead is actually slightly more than that because all the cores are hitting items at the same time, whereas Nature's Prophet is the hero hitting items and the rest are a bit behind. So, and if Odu dies here again, he's in a lot of trouble, but a lot of TPs coming in. They do get the Undying here, and I think Chadawi should fall. He does have sleep again and TP, so he's out. Never mind.
Well, that was good enough. What that was happening, RDK and Whelp pick up the kill in the mid lane on TKC. So I'm assuming Arrow actually did land this time.
I mean, we can assume, but I have no proof. No, I'm kidding.
Until I see it
This
with my
Arrow
own
will land.
eyes. Well, here we go. Schlinks and Nightstalker in a little bit of trouble here. Killer Deppy picking up the kill on Schlinks, RDK picking up the kill onto Chelsea, and this is going to be another objective taken here for the side of LeetPro. It looks like the boys at LeetPro decided to open up their arms and give themselves some of that amazing stims. They push on forward, may even try to put a little bit of chip damage here onto the tier 2.
Yeah, and that just shows you how good their team fight really is. If you just saw in that team fight, the Arrow is going to make sure someone's locked down for a significant amount of time. And then the follow-up from there was just the Underlord, amazing hero, especially in that situation, can make sure that Root's going to land multiple occasions. The Net, also yet another Root. So that Nightstalker had really no effect in that team fight, was pretty much what came out of it. So, yeah, this Nightstalker is going for Crimson Guard. So he's looking to just tank up, provide a bit of sustain for his team, which is fair enough, especially going up against a Gyrocopter who does a large amount of physical damage as the game progresses. And he's got drums and going now straight into BKB. This shows that they more than likely want to fight. Drums is going to provide a lot for the team fights. So I do expect them to group up as 5, quite a lot, which they have already. And what's that? 2 drum charges left for Deppy. So they might
be restocked.
Objectives with a few others.
Can drums be restocked?
No, you can sell it and rebuy it.
Okay, so that's you can't just buy the scroll.
Expensive. Yeah, no. That would be. That'd be pretty good.
A little bit OP maybe. All right, so now I want to talk to you about a next level player that I think I've spotted out here from the side of LeetPro. All right, are you watching? So in this area here, can you see where I am? I've pinged you on the map. You see, we got the sentry down over that ward. So now LeetPro know that there's an observer there. Okay, now WRG doesn't know the observer's there. So now what can happen is they can maybe take the side of LeetPro, 4 players hide in smoke, they stick Deppy on the gyro, maybe just hanging around this area doing silly things that WRG may think, okay, well, there's a lone league gyro there, and then boom, surprise.
A smoke gang.
Yes. I mean, why would they not kill this ward? Why else would LeetPro not kill this ward?
Because they actually planted that sentry before, and then it doesn't provide vision anymore, and the observer came afterwards.
Oh, so you're telling me that potentially they actually don't even know the ward is there?
So in fact,
oh no, Scarpy, you take it away. You take it away. My next level plays here.
But it's another next level play, right? Because they don't think there's a ward there because they have a sentry there. So they have big control about what's happening in the jungle. They know exactly where everyone is. So that's pretty good for them. And also, sentries have been buffed. They last 6 minutes now, which is ridiculously long.
Well, I mean,
that
they're
so
expensive.
Long, so they might renew that.
Well, I mean, we do have Rickies that are now being picked up because they decided to buff a Ricky. So they have to make it a little bit more efficient for support to actually pick up sentries nowadays. Don't you think?
I mean, you're still gonna pick up sentries against a Ricky, I hope. But
yes, but at least it's still it's not such a grudge purchase. You know, we always spoke about the invis tax and paying those big prices for actually having an invis hero on the enemy team. This time around, I mean, okay, fine, you've got invis heroes, but at least you know you're getting 6 minutes worth of vision in that area. Yeah,
invis tax is the worst thing ever. As a POS 5 player, it's the worst thing in the world. But
I mean, boots. I mean, who's ever had boots with a Ricky in the game?
Yeah.
When I play support, I don't have boots. What are brown boots, Scarpy?
I don't know. It's just, you know, Ricky's just run at you and kill you when you play support. And all you do is try and provide some space. But meanwhile, mid lane, looks like Bane could be in trouble here. Dust can be used. We're not Shadow down, though, so that's a bit of a positive. But they're, in fact, going to use this to gank bot lane, the Nightstalker, into the tree line, where everyone's invisible. Oh, they'll walk right past him, and this should be his demise. Yeah, I can't see him escaping this one.
Well, he's hiding in the sidelines. Homing missile's too good there, Scops. And he is brought down. I mean, enough said. He did channel himself quite a pretty path into the trees there. Didn't happen top lane though. Pings do come out. TKC making a play on your RDK. Has been silenced out. RDK not going to survive through that. TKC picking up the kill with the Crypt Swarm. And they may have gotten the kill onto the Night Stalker, but they get the return kill onto their position 1 Marana, which is a far bigger prize.
Yeah, that's a really nice pickle for them. Catching the Marana. Marana might consider getting a Manta here with that, yeah, in fact has it queued up because of the silence. Big problem there for him, but looks like they're planning to defend this one. Deppy doing quite a lot of damage here. It looks like he might still lose the tower, and they do. Odie does get that last hit. But Chidawi finds a kill and Schlinks.
He got brought down. I mean, pretty much the whole team of LeetPro were there. It was pretty much Schlinks saying, okay, well, you're going to kill me, but my team's going to take the tier 1 tower. I mean, that's pretty much the trade that took place. And, I mean, what's the value at the moment for him? 235 gold going into Chidawi's pockets.
Yeah, it's pretty real estate. That's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to put a lot of... It's going to start putting a lot of pressure onto LeetPro. As soon as you start losing your other tier towers, you start getting put under a lot of pressure. I mean, all tier 1 towers now for both teams are now down. Whelp, though, may actually run into a little bit of trouble. Yeah, Odu sneaks a quick TP in there, gets silenced out, gets sprouted up, gets brought down. Odu getting the kill there onto Whelp. Throws out a random arrow, connecting on a treant and picking himself up, what, maybe 40 gold there?
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. If you got the arrow, I don't even think you would have committed there, to be absolutely fair. But I think RDK, his biggest goal now is to just try and secure that Manta for himself, to keep himself alive for a little bit longer, because TKC silence is just going to be a major problem. TKC queuing up the BKB, I like this. A lot of BKBs coming out here, but a lot of things to sort of deal with BKB. Net goes through BKB, saying we must consider. Bane's ulti goes through BKB. So that's something that might be a little bit of an issue for them, but I think the BKB is still a solid necessity, because the homing missile, arrow, a lot of things you can run through the Pit of Malice. I think it's a necessity here for him.
Well, I mean, as soon as that those BKBs are up, maybe it will give them a little bit more confidence to actually start engaging, fighting a little bit more. We do have... Oh, fight breaks out. Tomb being brought down. Chidawi just gets fingered by the lion. That's what happens when you walk around the jungle.
Yeah,
and random lions. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. You know, Scarpa, you're a very dirty man, eh? You're a very dirty man. Ladies and gents, for those of you that are watching...
I was just quoting you, man. It's what you were getting at, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, I'm not the dirty-minded person, but, I mean, that's where you were going with it, so...
Me? You were the one who brought it up. That's what happens when you walk around in the jungle. You get fingered by lions. That's exactly what you were saying.
So what I was saying, ladies and gents, for those of you that are watching, Scarpy is the most cringiest person, and I love making him cringe, and that's one of the ways that I do it.
I'm cherry-cheeked right now.
and I didn't even blush my eyelashes at you. Or bat my eyelashes.
Yeah, you didn't even pull out the big guns. Hey, jeez, Jabba.
Who pulls out the big guns?
Oh, God.
Looks like WOG, they're making the mass exodus. They're tipping out as top lane Odu needed some help. They couldn't get there in time. RDK bringing down Odu. So before we get distracted too much by Scarpy shenanigans, we're going to bring you this game a little bit more. This Moonlight Shadow has been brought out. Sleep is out onto the line. But there is the Sleep. They're setting up a mass death array. They do pick up the courier. Tombstone is down. Insnare being used up on the TKC in the backlines. BKB popped out there by Deppy. RDK trying to find the kill onto TKC. He one more right click. It's going to be good enough. They get it. Schlenks, he's the one next to go down. Tries to get that rip off. It's not going to be good enough. And they lose four of their players for the side of WRG as LeetPro push on in. And the only one to survive through that will be the Night Stalker. It all started out when Odu got caught out, and enough is said, enough is done, and they're knocking on tier 3s now.
Yeah, the 5-man is just too good from LeetPro, and WRG just don't have the answers. I mean, Death Prophet's ulti still on cooldown. The Sleep is just too good in these situations, so not much they can really do about that, and the setup is solid. Whelp Actually caught out early on. They bring down TKC. Who did they bring down with the ultimate again? Odu, sorry. So they killed Odu early on, and they knew he wasn't there. And he's the biggest, or the only damage dealer, in my opinion. He's got Shadowblade and Orchid, so he's really doing a significant amount of damage. But if he's not involved in the fights, who else is really dealing damage for them? I mean, Death Prophet, yes, does a decent amount of physical damage, but he has to commit a big ultimate.
He didn't even commit ultimate in that team fight. I mean, it was such a surprise. He didn't even have a chance to actually pop the exorcism. So that's still a threat. I suppose maybe that's the one good thing that WRG have going for them at the moment. Yeah,
here's the thing, right? You kill Nature's Prophet. Okay, that's Blink on Strike. That's a very dead Naga. But getting back to my point, you kill the only damage dealer, and the Death Prophet doesn't know if he should throw his ulti. If he throws his ulti, they could just sleep and walk away, and he's dead.
Oh, wow. Okay, I saw the RDK arrow, and it actually hit a creep again.
Yeah. Game is hard.
But they got the kill. they got the kill. Okay, if you ever watch this again, but much love. But the arrowing creeps, your secret tactic is you want to farm creeps, and you just throw out the arrow just because...
Yeah. He's like, yeah, Bane can commit ultimate, it's fine, we don't need that.
Yeah, so managing to pick up a kill there on TKC. They did lose the Naga, but that's a position 2 for a position 4 any day of the week, and more invis coming out here for WRG. So those invis.
He's looking for wealth, but okay, everyone's backed out. Never mind. No problems there. When did the courier die?
Early in that team fight when the Sleepers popped out. I'll take you back to the screen. I'll take you back. I want to draw a picture. So the courier. Why can't I draw in the screen anymore?
It's paused.
Oh, is that one? I thought I can normally... Oh, wait there. Okay, well, it was on the mini-map. Yeah, look on the mini-map. You see that point there? They had the sleep popped out, and then, boom. They got the courier. So,
yeah.
Let's go through. Let's have a look at the graphs. I mean, we haven't done that yet. LeetPro sitting 10k net worth lead in terms of experience. Pretty much the same story. Anything in items that stick out or stand out to us. So both teams do have the Crimson Guard, which is just another factor that WRG is struggling with. Is that if Odie's the only one throwing out the damage. With the Crimson Guard, the amount of armor that WG have to basically fight themselves through is drastic.
Yeah, and I mean, Narstalker didn't really go for any right-click abilities. He went Crimson Guard into Ags now, so he's not too much of a concern. And Crimson Guard is so strong against Death Prophet. It's incredibly strong against Death Prophet. I think a lot of people underrate that. It just provides a lot of sustain. The Death Prophet ulti is irrelevant. But meanwhile, top lane Odu is dead.
Yeah.
Odu survives, yeah.
Oh, no, dust! Okay, they do pop the dust. Snare out Sprouts. Is it going to be good enough? Cooldown going to be used out. And Odu... I mean, that's all LeetPro have to basically do to win this game, actually. Kill Odu, keep Odu dead, and you pretty much win the game. I mean, the biggest threat is maybe the Death Prophet with Exorcism, but you pop that out and then you pretty much got a very dormant team. The Tomb doesn't do enough. Jadawi with his illusions can take that down really quickly.
Yeah, and top lane, they need to TP themselves on back as they are. And they've lost a lot here, and I think they're willing to fight, so they're actually going to get a quick kill here onto TKC. TKC, no response. No time to respond there, so... This is a rat, I believe.
And I suppose the arrow that actually made the big difference, he basically landed. Cooldown being brought down, and there you have it. Schlink's being brought down. 3 players from WRG are down. Top lane of Rax is dead. And LeetPro looking at taking game 1. They're looking really good at taking this, and we're going to probably be jumping into game 2 very shortly. And hopefully a game 3. But here we go. They don't want to end it yet. But there's the song. There's the song. Do they decide to turn it around, or do they want to get out? They've still got the Uber Lord to take them out if they want to, but there comes the Infubel out onto Chelsea. Line in the background. He gets brought down just from the strikes from Depp. He wasn't even going for him, but the flat cannon, too strong. Triple kill for RDK. Moonlight Shadow being used up, and that is it. The boys from WRG tap out, and that is it. Game 1 done and dusted. Scarpy, talk to me. What went wrong here?
WRG, I just think the laning went a bit poor for them. I think bot lane did fine, the Nightstalker and the Undying, but RDK is one of those players who's always going to find his way back. Mid lane was a bit of a big loss. I think they could have maybe committed a support there to help out against Deppy. Deppy came out too far ahead. And I don't know, they didn't have enough damage. I think the draft just lacked damage. It looked good. They had a bit of time where they could have won the game, but because the laning stages didn't go as well as they were hoping, it all fell apart very quickly for them, and LeetPro just had the better draft at the end of the day for the situation.
What would you have changed from the side of WRG? So LeetPro won the game. Their draft was solid enough to actually bring out the win. But if you had to change, say, maybe 1 or 2 heroes on the side of WRG, what would you have maybe changed it to? I'm thinking maybe instead of running the Mummy or the Nightstalker, rather run the Wind Ranger. That's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, Wind's solid. On the offlane, pos 4 even, you still get a Maelstrom on that hero, it does a lot of damage. I think there's a lot of things. I think for the draft they had a intention with this draft, so it's difficult to say what I would change. I think even if you asked them, they would say if they had to change something, they would change the entire draft, because this draft is set up to play like this, and unfortunately LeetPro just had it under their thumb. They knew exactly how to deal with it, and that I think is where it was lost. I don't think it's a individual pick per se.
All right, well, we're going to jump into game number 2. For those of you that are watching in the client, give us a few minutes to get the lobby up. For those of you on stream, we'll be playing you some music. Go grab a drink. Go get yourself some popcorn. We're going to be back very shortly. It's almost 7 o'clock on a Friday evening. Still got lots of time to get jiggy with it if you guys decide to go out. But don't go out until we finish the series. Until then. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and Dota players around the world. We're back. Game number 2, WRG versus LeetPro. It is a devastating loss for the side of WRG, as unfortunately their draft didn't pan out the way they wanted it. A little of the heroes a little bit underfarmed. They requested a lot of individual players to stand up, and eventually they did struggle. LeetPro benefiting off the fact that they couldn't get the certain farm that they needed. But nonetheless, we are going to head into game number 2. I am Jabba, joined by Scarpy, and I know during the break you were expecting a definite ban on the Bane.
Yeah, I definitely was, and I'm quite intrigued. But they did go for the Io Warlock, so they might still throw the Bane inside there. I think Io is a must, and we spoke about Warlock in depth in the previous game, how good he is as Oz 5, so we'll see. Interesting band there, the Chen. They definitely know that Schlinks can play Chen, so again, we were discussing that in the break as well, how these teams know the ins and outs of one another. Schlinks knows Chidao and he knows Whelp like the back of his hand by now. He's been playing with him for a long period of time, and now he has to play up against them. Odu played for a little while alongside them, so maybe not as much as Schlinks, but yeah, they know the ins and outs of one another, so I guess the draft will still show that with these bans.
I mean, we were even talking during the break and looking at. I mean, this is pretty much WRG's previous captain, Jadawi, and having to go up against your old captain. It's quite a daunting task. I mean, it must be quite a tough situation. I mean, I know the players are professional, and you just you get the job done, but at the same token, I mean, you still develop friendships and relationships with your teammates, so it must be hard in a way to essentially go up against your previous teammates.
Yeah, I can say you can experience this in sports, but esports may be slightly different, and like you say, it's maybe a lot more intimate because you spend a lot more time with these individuals constantly. You play through the nights with them, you discuss constantly. When you talk about other sports, yeah, you spend a lot of time with the players, but you don't see them every day and nights throughout the period of time. So I definitely think that could be a factor. But I mean, I don't think Schlinks will allow that to get to his head. He's also an individual that's been in the scene for a very long period of time in the top tier, so you can bite the bullet, I suppose. And Odu has been in and out of teams, you could say, for quite some time. I mean, he was constantly on the shift. He hung around at Energy for quite some time, though, I can say that. But he's been on the move, and he's also captained quite a lot of teams. And I'm not sure, did he captain Strike?
I don't know if Strike captained.
No, but he captained Chelsea, who's on his team.
Yes. So Energy's draft.
Or was that after RDK left?
I think it was maybe after, because I mean there are 3 Energy players here, or previous ex-Energy players: Odu, Strike, and Chelsea. They were all ex-Energy.
And RDK.
Well, no, RDK is now in LeetPro, so I'm just looking at WRG side.
I mean on that side, yeah.
So WRG's 3 players basically comprises of 3 ex-Energy players. Chelsea, and TKC were LeetPro players. They got traded out by Chadawi and Whelp. TKC was also an XD player. So there's been a lot of movement in the SA scene. So I mean, there's got to be some kind of effect on players, whether it's a good effect or a bad effect. I mean, that will leave up to your own opinions.
Well,
but
if we see anything from the international scene, we know that it's something that you have to get used to. So I think it's a good thing. If you want to make it big, you have to get used to this kind of thing, because it happens so much, even in the highest possible place you can get with Dota. It happens all the time, so you have to get used to it. So I think it's a good thing.
Well, enough of our sideline Dota community politics. Let's jump into the game. Scops, we do have a couple of bans being brought out. They did ban out the Marana. That's one that I spotted. They have banned out the Axe as well that we haven't seen being picked up yet. But more interesting, looking at the actual pickups that they've actually got in this time around. WRG, they pick up the Naga this time around with the Skyroth Mage. So that's a nice setup and mechanic for between the two. As soon as the Skyroth reaches level 6, you've got that snare into Mystic Flare. And then on the side of LeetPro, they picked themselves at that Pangea. Is that going to be the ACG Pangea, the offlaner, or an RDK?
Offlane. 100%.
100%. I mean, I'm trying to mix it up. I'm trying to keep it interesting, Scott. You don't have to just say 100%. You can say 99.9%.
Now approach the rotisserie blades of a fan because this Pangea is a problem, man. This Pangea is a big problem.
Talk about throwing me under the bus. Anyway, there comes the Wind Ranger. Look at that Scorpy. People were listening to us. And they heard the Wind Ranger, and now they picked it up. Now they've got, so far, the right click is looking a lot better for WRG.
Yeah, no. WRG downloaded the replay, skipped to the end because they knew there was going to be some
really important
information there.
Absolutely.
And that's how they drafted this one. But it's actually good. It's good against Pangea, especially if he doesn't get his ulti or if he can lock him down for a period of time, because he does have good escape. The Wind Ranger can deal with that, but I don't know if they're throwing the wind towards the safe lane. I think they put it as off lane pos 4. You just get an Orb of Venom and you just hit the opponents. Very annoying. It is the most obnoxious off lane hero in the world. But this is a situation we've seen a lot from LeetPro. The Pugna getting picked up. I remember the last time they played it off lane with the IO, if I'm not mistaken. It was IO Pugna. And you had a Pugna running at like 500 movement speed right at the beginning of the game. Was disgusting. I think they played against Epoch, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm interested to see how they're going to fit this Pugna in now that there's a Pangea. Or are you right and there is maybe a spanner in the gear here, and Pangea could be going to the
please, I know we're not watching on Twitch. I know there's no clippets, but can someone go back, take a clip of Scarpy saying that Pangea is 100% an offlane hero. So when he's wrong, then we know that Jabba's right.
When he's wrong. Did you just say when? So you are committing that it's 100% not an offlane hero?
I've never said that, no. No, I didn't say that. But anyway, okay, wait.
But you said when I'm wrong, so that's sort of commitment. I heard commitment.
Like, I mean, it's when. It's not an if, it's a when. It's like, when. It's just
so that's committing to it. You're committing to me being wrong.
Do you know what? Just meet me KFC Bayside.
I'm seeing you tomorrow. What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Damn it, I can't even escape you. All right, well, let's look at this draft, Scarpy, because now, all of a sudden, I'm suspecting this Pugna could essentially be in mid. Ooh la la.
It could be, and that's pretty cool. I think Deppy plays anything, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's his hero pool these days.
Anything.
Okay, seems like I'm having some audio issues again.
Are you? All right, well, so if on stream you wouldn't be having audio issues, so Scarpy's just going to sort out his in-game client sounds. If there are issues for the guys on stream, you'll still be catching everything. Assuming the Pugna is going to go mid, the Ember Spirit is going to be going up against him in the mid lane. Should be relatively alright with his Flame Guard, not going to be taking too much harass, but I do like the next Assassin being picked up, that Carapace. He's one of the heroes that I actually spam out quite a bit, that Spite Carapace does so much work, just from ambient damage being dealt. Stands out heroes. So we'll see how it pans out, but looking at the side of LeetPro, not leaving a lot of space yet, or still keeping WRG in the dark, basically not revealing too much yet on where they're actually going to be running certain heroes. Are you back, Scops? Have you sorted out your issues? Okay.
I'm just getting some more messages, but yeah, fixed. And big shout out to Riplink there for at least letting me know. It's always helpful, especially when these patches come through and it messes around with the commentator settings. You know, we love it.
I had that issue. I actually had that issue. I had to do some console setting I turned into a real programmer earlier today,
I did it in
trying to
5
figure that
seconds,
out.
and I felt like a hacker. I was like, the next thing I'm doing after this is hacking into the US government and
I'm
setting
going to
off
call
some
you Sandra
nukes. So
Bullock.
heads up, guys.
I'm going to call you Sandra Bullock. For all of you that are above the age of 30, you will get that reference. But for everyone that's younger than 30 will not understand that. Because the first hacking movie...
Your age so bad, dude. You got to be careful here, man.
No, I mean, you don't see a bottle of wine crying that it's old. Do you?
Yeah, but you kind of like milk, you know?
You should be. All right, well, let's go back to the cast. Scarpy completely thrown me under the bus today. Anyway, it looks like it is going to be a mid-Pugner, going to be RDK playing the Wraith King, ACG out on the Pangea. So pretty much 100% off-lane Scarpy. 1 point to you, good sir. TKC out on the Ember. Chelsea going to be playing out the Wind Range in the off-lane. All right, so pretty much the only... I wouldn't say the biggest surprise, but Deppy on the Pugner mid. We're going to see how that fares up against the Ember Spirit. Your thoughts on that quickly?
Okay. I don't think he gets through the shield with his blast, so I don't think it's fantastic, but Pugner also hits really hard, so not too terrible. I think it becomes a bit of a problem when the Ember starts to get a bit of level, so it's going to be a necessity for Deppy to get far ahead and Chidawi to make some good rotations. Just to make sure that Deppy does okay. I think it's going to be hard for them to kill TSC. But we could even have a Nyx just sitting there and mana burning the Ember out of the game. We've seen that happen before, and these guys are willing to do things like that just to secure one of their lanes.
While we're going to see how it pans out, the game is up and running. So without further ado, we're going to take it away. This time round on the side of the Radiant, it is going to be the boys from WRG starting off here in the mid TKC. Playing out the Ember Spirit in the bot lane. It is going to be Chelsea making a way there with the Naga Siren. Going to be played out by Schlinks. In the off lane, it is going to be Odu on the Bloodseeker. And Strike playing the Skyrath Mage.
Interesting laning, but we'll talk about that in a bit. ACG going to the top lane, so it looks like they kind of
predicted this,
identified this, or predicted these movements. But Deppy going towards the mid lane on the Pugner, so that's Pangea on the top lane. Apologies. Towards the bot, we're gonna have Well playing on the Ancient Apparition, RDK over on the Wraith King, and Chidawi walking very aggressively. And why not? You know, you got 6.4 HP regen passive. Who cares? You know, who really cares? And 4 armor.
The Mango build. The Mango
stupid
build.
Hero. It's a stupid hero.
Okay, Scarpy, now don't joke at me. Like, just putting the cast on the side for a moment. Like, I've been a bit of a Nyx spammer of late, and the reason being is I'd like you to take a look at his talent. Talent 25. Okay, talent 25.
The 100
yes.
agility.
100 agility. My man. Have you
seen the Vendetta unobstructed pathing? You just run over cliffs.
I know, but have you seen how fast he hits? And have you ever thought of picking up the Eth Blade with a Nyx?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, E-Blade into your mana burn against a high mana hero.
Yeah. Say it for me. Dead.
Yeah, dead. DED. Dead.
Yeah. So I've been enjoying playing him. I actually play him as a core. I don't get greedy with a farm. If there's a farm in the off lane, I'll slowly get my Echo Saber slowly into Orchid, and then start shenanigans.
Typical Jabba support, you know.
You know, like
unnecessary.
Why do you need wards?
We
Scarpy?
can guess where they are.
Wards don't do damage, Scarpy. Damn it. All right.
But
anyway,
they prevent damage, Jabba. They prevent it.
prevent damage. Okay. All right. I'll give you that. All right. So now talk to me about the laning phase. You touched on it while you were introducing the teams. Talk to me about how this laning phase is going to turn out here for them.
Yeah, interesting. I think they wanted the matchup to be the Wind Ranger and the Naga up against the Pangea, but maybe a good prediction coming at you from LeetPro. Maybe they wanted to. I'm not too sure what it was, but it seems like they might have achieved what they were looking for. Odu I don't think he wants to be dealing with the Pangalia. Pangalia is pretty difficult. Scarith Mage doesn't do fantastic against him because he can jump away. Scarith Mage does well against any one in lane, but against Pangalia a little bit less. I think he finds it a little bit more difficult in those situations. If this is going to be a tri lane in the bot, which I sincerely doubt, I think that Chidawi's just here to make sure he can secure these ruins. But if it is a tri lane here in the bot, this is not going to be an easy task for this Wind Ranger to find farm. And this is a farming wind, so that's interesting. Obviously, we should have scattered that in the draft, but we were too busy messing around. But yeah, a farming wind. We'll see how that pans out. I think Chelsea does pretty well on Wind Ranger the last time I've seen him, and core Wind Ranger is still extremely viable. And I think they still put him in the position 3 when you talk about farm priority, as a Bloodseeker will be priority number 1. But again, I feel like I see similar patterns here. They got 2 heroes that are going to try and share the farm, and the mid needs to win. And it's difficult to say that, especially when you're playing up against someone like Deppy. But that's what the drafts seem like for me, for the side of WRG. And I think it seems a little bit more well-rounded on LeetPro, even though I'm not sure how this Pugna works out. But every time I've watched them play with Pugna, they do well. So I think it's very difficult to criticize them on picking up a Pugna.
No, well, something else I want to touch on is Ancient Apparition. With the amount of stun in this tri lane. Now, we've spoken about this devastation of the tri lane that LeetPro is running. Just indulge me, Scarpy, as we go through what potentially is going to happen. Walp is going to throw down Cold Feet. Okay, even level 1. This is what's going to happen. Cold Feet into Wraithfire Blast into Earthspark from Chidawi. Can you smell what's going to happen? And that's even prior level 2 when Walp gets Chilling Touch online, and a little bit of maybe crit damage from RDK coming out. So I mean, it is a really tough tri lane that the side of WRG is going to have to deal with. They're going to have to really be on form, and the only escape mechanic that they potentially got is the wind run from Chelsea. But I mean, if you break that with one of the stuns from LeetPro, Chelsea's going to get completely abused, and they are probably trying to dodge this tri lane that they spotted, the Wraith King, AA, and Chidawi. They have, I think they did spot Chidawi. I'm not sure they were hiding behind the trees. I don't think they actually did get vision on Chidawi doing those funny movements. So still not really aware of what is happening. And look how far back ACG is actually. He's not wanting to give away anything at this point in time. Look how far back he is in the safe lane.
Yeah.
They
don't want to give away too much, and I think the Knicks walked here because they expected a dual lane. So the Knicks walks here to see if he can scout out what's happening with their lanes, and also try and lure them into this false security that, oh, it's that dual lane that we were hoping to go into, or the dual lane that will be better for us. And then Chidawi's just going to go get a quick first blood and then join the top, and then all of a sudden Bloodseeker has a horrible time there. Because the amplification of damage and things on himself, he's just not going to be able to get much out of it. He's going to be under that constant concern of getting burst. Nyx is a bit of an issue there. And Scarith Mage doesn't fare well against Nyx at all. High mana pool against mana burn.
He's food. He's food for the Nyx. Shlinks is going to be buying wards until he's blue in the bum. We spoke about the high invis tax on invis heroes. It's really going to start costing the side of WRG with Nyx running around.
Oh, well, blue screen. And I haven't seen a blue screen in ages.
Don't Scarpy, why would you even say the B word?
I was reading.
I know, but the B word
TKC,
with casters and streaming going on, like there's a lot that can go wrong when you say the B word, Scarpy. You don't say the B word.
Alright, sorry.
Alright, well, alright. Talk to me about, we've touched on it briefly. We spoke very, very quick. Deppy, TKC in the mid lane. We said that the blast not going to really be able to chunk through the flame guard, but who essentially can win the lane?
I think it does go through it at level 1. Let's
Alright, let's do some calculations. So blast damage at level 1 is 100.
Is 20. He takes 75, so it's 5 magical damage. He's 5 magic damage short of breaking that in level 1. 175. I think level 2 he does okay.
I think he actually breaks it.
220 then. So level 2 and into Flame Guard is just too strong in that situation. He needs to get 2 blast down to get rid of it. Not easy. Yeah. It's not an easy task. So he's not going to be expecting too much harass in that regard. But again, the right clicks, what is it? 59 damage coming out of this Pugna per right click. And he's got pretty good range. So that's a bit of a concern for TKC. But
you know
not the end of the world. You can see he's really queued up regen and things like that. So he's not too worried about that. It's going to be a last hitting battle, I think. I don't see anyone really dying here. Maybe, if anything, TKC kills.
I've seen TKC play in Ember Spirit, and it is really something to be in awe about. I've seen him on the TKC, and he just completely, if he gets ahead, can completely dominate the map. And maybe that's what they're hoping, that it's going to be a lane. Mid is going to be one, and TKC is going to be able to get those rotations, get around the map, and get things done. Something else is the Nether Ward from Deppy. And you got the Skyroth Mage on WRG's team. I mean, he's not going to be arcaning Orb as much as what he would like to. Mystic Flare also going to be a bit of an issue. That uses at level 3 800 mana usage.
Yeah, no.
That's going to hurt if that Nether
Ward's
down.
Level it. In case he does it under a ward, he will die very quickly. And so That is true. He's really strong in that regard, and I think also the negative mana regen is a bit of a problem for the Ember. He can't really walk up and kill the Nether Ward either, so that is something we must maybe consider. But yeah, I think the team fights is a bit of a concern here for WRG, especially fighting into a Nether Ward or the Skyroth Mage. The rest of them still use significant amounts of damage, but then we're ignoring all the other tools that they have. Pangolier is fantastic in team fight situations. Ancient Apparition Blast is significantly problematic, because if he's standing back and he gets a good AoE on it, that's a lot of people not regenning, and it's a fantastic counter to a Bloodseeker.
Right, well, the game is underway, and the horn has been blown out. There's the Wraith Fire Blast being brought out. There's the stun, and they're going to try and slow down Schlinky. This could very well be first blood. Is there going to be enough? One more right click, and the power shot coming out from Chelsea. Not going to do too much damage, and all too happy with that. Pretty much only getting the bounty run in the bot lane for themselves, still being able to snack up their own bounty run. And the game is finally ready to rock and roll. While they've scouted out what the lanes are, they know what is spotting. Schlink's going to have to mosey himself back to base, get himself full HP, not worth it to expend all those tangos. Looking up in the top lane, and Strike already putting the pressure onto ACG.
Yeah, and as he should. I think ACG is... Sorry, Chelsea's dead.
Wow, again, that was...
But it's exactly what we spoke about. They don't even have cold feet. They just got chilling touch, and they do more than enough damage with the 2 stuns. If there's cold feet included there, I just don't see a way for him to survive. So, big problems here for this dual lane. I think... I'm not too sure what Chelsea's going to do to really do much here. I think ACG is going to be constantly under pressure, but he's got a 1 now, so he's going to be able to at least regain some of his HP. So I don't think he's all too unhappy about the situation he's found himself in. He's found level 2, he's got the shield crush now, so he's not there. Interesting mid lane, TKC actually having an early advantage here, which is something I would like to touch on. I think this is very important for him, especially after having a bit of a shaky start in game 1. I think it's good for him to have a good start here in game 2. Boost their confidence.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about the advantage, 9-1, Pugna 4-3. So... much better round this time round, but bot lane, that's looking quite horrendous at the moment. Well, there's the ensnare. The stun comes out from Chidawi, stopping Schlinks in his tracks. Chelsea trying to put on damage onto the AA. The only one that's really taking huge amounts of damage with his low HP pool and low armor. The only one that he can really pressure out of lane at the moment, Chidawi, RDK, they're going to be just too happy just to sit there and do the things that they do. Skyroth, though, he has picked himself up the Invis. Maybe wants to get something done. I don't know, do you think he's going to rotate mid?
He's got illusions, so you can maybe use them to tank the tower, that's at best. Do they have enough magical damage to kill those, really the question. 2 points up into Flame Guard, so maybe, potentially, especially now that he's deep in the river, this is a good opportunity.
There
Use
comes
these illusions to tank the tower.
We got some shots.
Them well enough. Oh, should be a death.
Oh, diving under the tower, trying to keep himself alive, and there we go. Now WRG getting a little bit of revenge from the first game where TKC got ganked a lot. This time around, the supports are making better rotations here for them. Pugner rotating in, he's going to TP in. Walp trying to push Strike off the tower. Cold Feet going to be used up. Strike not going to be able to be stunned out or kept in place by it. And again, the lane just basically equalizes, and TKC and Deppy go at it once again. But Chadawi making the rotation. Decryptify is brought out. The stun is not going to be close enough, but it's going to be good enough. And Deppy is brought down again with regards to, even with the supports there from LeetPro being in the vicinity. And I know I keep saying Decryptify instead of Deceptify, but these are old habits. These are old habits. I mean, how do you pronounce it, Scarpy? How do you even pronounce it?
Decrepify.
Decrepify. Decrepify. Because there's no T in it, so I keep putting a T in it. Can't I just change it to Decreptify? I want to change it.
Isn't it an English word? I'm quite sure Decrepify is an English word. You can't really... Like, go to Oxford, you know, maybe they'll help you out.
Bot lane, though, they do pick up the kill onto Chelsea. They can maybe able to be... and Shrinks is going to actually pull off the ancient apparition. Walp going to be able to survive through that. So 3-1, 4 minutes in, and LeetPro looking at having a pretty good start. Top lane, Odu just putting a bit of pressure onto ACG. Both same level at the moment. Odu level 4, ACG level 4, and Strike level 2 at the moment. So getting rotations around. But yes, going back to my Decryptify, do you think Oxford needs to take this under advisement?
Yeah, sure, why not? You know, just go do it. Not what could possibly go wrong.
And if they don't accept it, I'm going to make my own dictionary.
Yes. Jabba's dictionary for plebs.
I wanted to say something and make you blush, but I will refrain.
Good play.
I'll
saw
do
the
that
ward
for you.
being placed. That's really nice. So Strike will be able to deal with that very quickly.
And Walp actually standing off the ruin. Actually surrendering the ruin.
Securing the ruin, so pretty good. Now we will find 1. So actually 3-1. That's pretty good, I guess. For the side of LeetPro. Odu, look at the damage he takes from this.
That swashbuckle is ridiculous.
It's a joke, man. And especially if he's buffed. Now, look at the situation. He's buffed. If that's off cooldown in 4 seconds, that's a kill.
Okay, they actually decided to actually pull back. But mid lane, looks like a lot of action happening here. Deppy and a lot of pressure. He does go down. Shadawi. We got the TP in from Chelsea. Been trying to be body blocked up. Yet Links going to be able to get the last hit there. And beautiful rotations coming in. We got 2 down for LeetPro. And Odu almost joined his... the enemies in Valhalla, but surviving through it. That swashbuckle, I mean, we touched on it. The swashbuckle does so much damage. Just watch this. Okay, he actually used the shield crush this time around. Arcane Bolt being brought out. Cold Feet not keeping Odu in place. But the swashbuckle does its job and obliterates Odu. I mean, Scarpy, like, what is this game?
The hero is silly. Let's accept that. It's really silly in the early game. I feel like in the later stages of the game, it becomes a bit weaker, but I feel like when I watched ACG play this hero, I thought, okay, maybe it is broken. The last time I watched him play, so...
You complain about my techies. Shame on you.
No, techies is way worse.
Always, that swashbuckle is terribly worse. Chadawi does manage to spot out Strike, does know that some shenanigans are happening behind the tower here. They may call for a jump here. Chadawi gets silenced out. Swashbuckle comes in. They're going to try and bring down Odu. That is their man of target. And Strike going to be able to trade off Chadawi. TKC going to come into the party. ACG gets rooted out. Now he's going to TP out. Is it going to be enough? And it is not going to be enough. TKC having to flip and flop to his different remnants. and not going to be enough to actually bring it down. ACG, he survives through it, and
if he committed the other remnants, he might have got the kill, but he might not have arrived in time.
yeah, that
Who's really
was.
say?
And I mean, good play from ACG, baiting out or waiting for the route before he actually used the TP. So knowing that there's nothing that was actually going to stop him from TPing out, easy TP out pretty much. And it looks like ACG also wants to join the higher ranks of TP outers during battles.
Yeah,
that makes sense. I mean,
that's one of those things. You just wait for all the lockdowns, and then, oh boy,
yeah.
Chelsea's dead.
And
this combo, we discussed it at the beginning of the game. There's nothing you can do about it. Once it's there, it's done. And now Pugner's going to come down here, probably look to take a tower. PKC is still in a decent place, but Pugner's caught up so well.
Oh wow, ACG does get ruptured out, but he's under the tier 1 tower. Now Odu going to try and TP out. The Wraith Fire Blast is not going to be there, and there's another TP out coming on in for the boys of WRG. So these TP escapes, man, reminds me of the days when Blink Dagger didn't have cooldown on damage taken.
That's silly. That was a silly time.
It was a silly time. I remember that.
I wasn't proud about playing Dota at that time.
Oh,
did you see
ACG
that?
almost connecting. Yeah, I saw that. Almost
If that
saw
hit,
it.
if that hit, that would have been beautiful. Maybe it would have been short damage, actually. I thought he had the Javelin. If he had Javelin and that hit, it would have been a certain kill, I think.
Still quite a bit of damage. He does have Rolling Thunder online now, so he's going to be looking at bouncing and bopping around, disturbing and causing havoc on team fights. I do hear a rupture.
Oh,
We got ruptured out.
Yeah, cheeky little hop over the cliff there, but I mean, they were going to secure that kill regardless.
Oh, there we go. Turn on to Chadawi. He's going to get decryptified up. Depi trying to make a play here. Odu just trying to work him out. And Strike going to take down Chadawi in the back lines. Depi trying to find Odu. Rolling Thunder being used out. Can he find someone? Decides to bump against the cliff as ACG is going to try and find his mark. And he's not going to find anything.
I think that's...
Rotation
that wheel was quite accurate. I think he wasn't happy about that situation. Buying back. Doesn't have the Javelin now for a very long time. Hoping to find a kill there, but... I want to say it's not the end of the world, but it's actually really not good for him at all. So, bit of an issue there. Mid lane though.
Oh wow, okay, so a little bit of creep blockage there. Trying to make a play onto Depi. Didn't actually get that done. And Chelsea going to have to just back off a little bit. Top lane, RDK, going to try. Oh, stuns out Schlinks. Looked like he was actually going to cast one of his spells there. Is it going to be enough? Is this in deny range yet? Top tier 1. Or is there a bigger fight happening in bots?
They should deny it actually.
Right,
but yeah, he actually tried to make illusions to dodge the stun. That would have been sick if he got it off. But meanwhile, bot lane. This could be the end of TKC.
Well, it could be. He does get to cryptified up. Rolling Thunder is going to be good enough. TKC can't actually get out of there. Odu actually committing the rupture onto ACG, not being able to claim a life off of that. Ideally, what you'd probably want to do is drop the rupture while he's in Rolling Thunder. Will he still take the damage while he's in Rolling Thunder form?
I think so, because it does pierce spell immunity, and that's spell immunity, so I think it does. But he can cancel it instantly, though.
But he can't cast it while he's in Rolling Thunder. Am I correct? Or can he still?
I actually am not too sure. I don't think it doesn't make units untargetable.
And ladies and gents, we come to the win.
The win. The win of what? The fact that I actually don't know something. There's a lot of things I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have you know that before we get any further into this argument.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's with me. He knows everything. He knows everything. They do actually pop out a scan. They do know that LeetPro is up to some certain shenanigans. RDK sitting in the jungle looks pretty happy. Let's have a see here. TKC does have a TP, but it's on cooldown, so can't provide any assistance should there be a fight that breaks out here in the bot lane. We do have some illusion scouting here for the Naga. Chidawi not level 6 yet. He doesn't have that Vendetta online just yet, so that scouting is a little bit, I think a little bit behind, don't you think? I think Chidawi should have actually been level 6 already, although Schlinks is also level 5 at the moment, so I suppose not too bad. They do find Chidawi though. That is going to be easy kill. Easy setup for strike, and just what we spoke about.
Rolling Thunder though.
It's going to be used that, going to try and control out Odu. There's a swashbuckle and Schlinks throwing out the ensnare, but now comes out the cold feet with the Wraith Blast. Rupture being used out onto ACG. There comes down the Blood Rite. It's going to be good enough to bring down ACG. RDK, there's the reincarnation. Strike in the back lines. They need to get Deppy here, throw down his ward so that they can stop these people from casting spells. And it's not going to happen. TKC does bite the dust. Chidawi trying to find more here onto Odu. Try to body block him, but maybe overshot that one just a tad. And they're just going to shake hands and let bygones be bygones. They're going to get the tier 1 tower off the back of this. And sitting on 9 and 8 after pretty much the 13.5-minute mark.
Yeah, on the plus side, they did kill RDK before he reached his level 2 and his ultimate, which is great because that's a very long cooldown. So they know now for the next 3 minutes, either RDK is not going to be pressuring the lanes, or if he does show in lane, that they can definitely kill him. He is, however, extremely tanky. He does have that armlet online, so they will be aware of that. And in fact, they do look like they're going to find themselves in a brawl. Yeah, Rupture going to be used on RDK.
Oh wow, so RDK in a lot of problems. You just mentioned it. He could actually go down here. It's trying to armlet toggle through this. Schlinks is actually going to walk away this time around. Deppy coming to the party. Ice Blast being brought out, thinking the fight was still going to actually take place. And it's not going to happen. RDK sitting in the back lines. ACG also in the vicinity. The Rupture is actually being used out, not being able to get too much off the back of that. Maybe, you know what, we saw how good the AA is on the side of LeetPro. AA on the side of WRG would have been just as fantastic.
Oh, yeah. AA on any team is good for the same reasons, right?
Oh, here we go. Vendetta, Swashbuckle. Can Odu survive through this? No, because Schlinks is in the vicinity, gets the ensnare off. Rolling Thunder being used out. Silenced out will be Chidawi. RDK looking for a little bit more. Deppy fighting in the back lines, trying to deal with TKC. There comes the Decryptify into Life Drain with the Nether Ward in the back lines being worked out. And Odu Schlinks not going to be able to do anything to revenge his comrades. And that will be an easy takedown. TKC gets taken to the cleaners.
Yeah, that fire remnant damage from the Nether Ward killing him there. I thought he was actually going to get the kill at the end of the day, but it unfortunately does go down to that Nether
magical
Ward.
damage. Look at that magical damage there, Scarpy.
Where am I looking?
So click on Ember Spirit. And then, okay,
he's alive now, so it won't be there.
You can't actually set. The magic damage basically was 1,123 versus 146 physical. So it's more than 100%.
Yeah, it's more than 100% of his health. That's it's quite significant, and that's going through his spell shield as well. Hey, we must keep that in mind. I think that's going through it. I wonder if that's ink. Fuck, I don't know how that works actually. How they do their calculations.
That is a fair point, but Chidawi, he's vended it up. Chelsea seems like he smells a rat, the way that his movements are looking. There's a sentry there, so maybe Chelsea trying to bait in Chidawi. This is mind games beyond mind games. There is the sentry over here. Look at Chidawi, just on the edge. It's like he knows. And he decides to actually pull back. Are you watching this?
I'm sure he thought that was suspicious, though, that the Wind Ranger was doing nothing. Like, players at this caliber don't do nothing. So he's like, wait, why is she doing... Does she see me? You know, that's like the mind games, you know. Or she could, even though she could be baiting and just like, we saw him earlier and we're just going to act as if we see where he is so he doesn't initiate. Oh, well, here comes Initiate onto Odu. They're going to use the Song of the Siren, going to try and keep them asleep, but the Thunderball was already there and the Ice Blast been brought out, so that Song not actually doing its job, taking down 2 under the Song of the Siren, losing Schlinks and Odu.
And
Oh
they
man, that
get a
rolling
tier
thunder
2.
jump onto the hero like almost perfectly was beautiful. That was really well executed, and they found two and a great dive there, in fact, from RDK.
Well, ACG has picked up his javelin. He's now building into Yules and Blink. What do you think the Yules is going to be able to assist him with on ACG?
On ACG?
Yeah.
I think it's just going to provide him with that extra bit of control as well as the mana regen, which is something that is commonly discussed as a weakness for this hero, is his HP regen. His mana regen being a very significant issue on the hero. He does have a talent, but it's not enough still. Oh.
Well, there's the Nether Wall being brought out. Mystic Flare doing its work. Rapture out onto Deppy, trying to get out. TKC trying to jump in there. Is there a route available? It is going to be good enough to bring down Deppy, as the rest of the boys of LeetPro just decide, all right, well, time to get out. TKC looking to try and find a little bit more, but not going to find anything off the back of that. And Jadawi and RDK sitting in the top lane, trying to, probably going to start putting a pressure on that tier 2. Mid lane though, tier 1. Oh, dodged will be the Wind Ranger. Dodged will be the Ice Blast, as not being able to connect on anyone. And ACG clearing out the creeps in the mid. Darby, this is getting to the point where things are going to get to a boiling point and just explode all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think so. I think this is not looking fantastic here for WRG. They got a lot of work to do. But I don't know if you saw that. It's something that doesn't get utilized by a lot of players who play Ember. And I'm not sure how many people even know that it's possible, so I'll just bring it up quickly. The Fire Remnants, when Ember actually does jump to his Remnants, he actually can throw his chains out, or his shearing chains out, while that... We all know that you can do it when you're doing the Sleight of Fist, but a lot of people actually don't know that you can also cast it while you're doing your Fire Remnants. So while you're actually going past someone, as that ball's going past someone, you can actually shearing chains them and get well past that position to a safer area. So I actually saw that in a pro game the other day, and I found it quite interesting, and I saw that he utilized that. Bit of an interesting fact.
All right, well, that I was not aware of. Thank you, Scarpy, for enlightening us and teaching us. You hear Friday evening. It's called School with Scarpy, as he will teach us the ins and outs of Dota. They do bring down the Skyroth in the backlines. Stuns out Chelsea. They're looking at putting pressure on this tier 2. RDK just going to teased out with his Shadow Amulet being carried there by Whelp. Oh. Going down.
It just stops him from walking. It's the most annoying thing in the world. He's just trolling with him here, but a good sleep. 5-man in the sleep. What can they really do here, though? Nothing,
run
really.
away. Oh, the Ice Blast is going to be good enough. And an ACG going to just make sure he brings him down. Deppy in the back lines using the life drain. But Shackle going to be good enough.
Oh,
they're going to bring down Deppy. That is huge. RDK getting tapped out here by Odu. And Odu, well, Naga being buying back. So does Odu. And Chadawi, very low HP. But the Bloodseeker spots him out. TKC brings him down, takes him to task. As the rest of the team may look to push further. RDK just blinks out. Easy teasing for the RDK. Reincarnation is online, but you'd hate to use it just to for no real threat.
Yeah, you want to get that level 3 into it, and then you feel a bit more confident in losing it, because what's the cooldown? 120 seconds is still quite a long period of time. When it's down to 40 seconds, you know, you feel a lot more confident just throwing it out all willy-nilly.
Yeah.
But at this current time, he's okay with staying alive, rather. Just trying to work up these skellies. Bat lanes. Man, I mean, people underestimate how much damage these little skeletons do. They farm, man. They farm so fast for this hero. Really, really
actually
good.
But it also just gives quite a bit of farm to the Bloodseeker. I mean, I've seen an army of skeletons take down a alchemist. An army of skeletons,
and it's only
take down
5 gold for a skeleton, so the value in killing one is actually not that good. You don't get much back from it, so I think they should actually change that. I think they should make that like 20 gold. I'd say 20 gold. Then
maybe maybe makes it really makes you think about actually casting out your skeletons at least.
Yeah, at least they changed the fact that crit doesn't instantly kill creep anymore. That was a bit broken at a time. I saw a lot of people actually just take Wraith King into the jungle, and you just right-click creep until you crits, and you crit one dead instantly. A big creep, no matter what it was, even no matter how small your crit is, it instantly kills a creep. And each time you kill a creep with your crit, you get a skeleton. So you farm the jungle so fast and so efficiently in comparison to other heroes. Oh, good shackle.
Well, they do catch out RDK. He does have Reincarnate. Chelsea's going to have to get out there. He's being cold feeted out. Now TKC gets stunned as well. They do have the ice slow from the AA. That will be fighting under it. So he does get blood righted up. So RDK is going to just be toggling out his armlet. Just being a little bit careful there, as every time he does, Bloodseeker goes faster than he goes slow. Goes faster than he goes slow. That's like putting brakes on any shenanigans that OD tries to do. But RDK, low HP, may be willing to actually use his reincarnation over here, as it looks like they're forming up the attack onto the higher ground. LeetPro still looking really good, got their 5 objectives, all their 5 outer towers still standing, whereas WRG only got the one in the top lane that is holding out the top lane of barracks.
Yeah, Bloodseeker's super fast now, he's almost 500 movement speed. But I don't know what he's going to be able to do with it here. It's just so difficult to penetrate the opponents and what to try and kill a Wraith King. Got Reincarnate, just there's no value in it, so they're stuck in this sort of situations, precarious spot, and they just have so much more to do. The damage is just not there. I think the Wind Ranger didn't finish Maelstrom, just went for the Javelin, and now we're going straight for the Aghanims without finishing up a Maelstrom. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. I'm all for getting an early blink. I think getting an early blink has its place, and I think this is a great time for it, but I do think he wants to finish up that Maelstrom. Because having a low cooldown onto your focus fire and you're not really dealing significant damage doesn't really matter, I feel. But I could be wrong. I haven't really played the hero in this way ever, so I'm not too sure.
I feel that it's a good farming mechanic regardless. The Maelstrom would come a lot quicker, or the Ags would come a lot quicker. ACG going to be able to find out the Wind Ranger, Decryptify, Life Drain, and Chelsea not escaping. And that is it. This is going to be the final outer tower for the side of WRG, and LeetPro are slowly knocking in and tightening the noose around WRG's neck as...
Heals is such a good item on this hero, actually. So, yeah, that's really good. You see how he was able to set that up for that situation? It was really nice.
Into Rolling Thunder, Swashbuckle, and Jump Shield.
Yeah,
Crash Shield.
One stun from his teammate just secures a kill there. So
absolutely, yeah. I didn't see the. Oh wow! Slider Fish coming out from TKC drops ACG's life to almost half. They throw out the Ice Blast. Not catching anyone just yet, but the Nether Blast is there. Rooted out will be RDK. Blood Right being thrown down onto the floor. Some more Slider Fists, but ACG being focus fired down here by Chelsea in the backlines. Odu going to try and close the deal. The Rupture's out onto ACG. Not going to actually do any more. Just going to try and control him out. Jadawi goes into Vendetta mode. RDK fighting out TKC. His reincarnation's being used out. Depi using out the Life Drain takes down Odu. And this fight is all over the place. ACG just trying to get closer, uses the Swashbuckle, but now they're going to control out Chelsea once again. Rolling Thunder, trying to find the... was going to try and find Schlinks, but it came off cooldown. Ice Blast being brought in. They smash ACG. TKC also goes down now as well, as they are looking in and knocking in onto these... top lane of barracks. The tier 3 is down while this is all happening. Whelp fighting from across the map, and that is the place that you want to be as an AA. You want to try and get that radius ball as big as you can, affect more players at once.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is looking very difficult for WRG to come back from. And okay, Wind Ranger's close to getting that Ags. Once he has that Ags, yes, he's going to do quite a lot more damage, because that does obviously amplify the reduction that he gets. So, or not amplify it, but lower the reduction that is given. So that's going to be at least useful at this stage of the game. So scepter damage gets down to 15 instead of the 40 reduction that it's at now. And then when you're on max levels on 0% instead of, what was it, 30. That is significant. So he still do some damage, but doesn't really have a damage item as of yet besides that javelin.
Beautifully
he finds a
done.
nice kill for himself.
Yeah. Almost making it looked like he was almost going to miss that route. Actually having to pick up a set of dust for himself to actually pick off the AA. So that's a nice worthy kill for him. Getting himself that.
Yeah, that's actually really good for him.
Very quiet,
just
though.
find a kill here because he's again having a bit of a tough time. 4-4-4. Okay, he needs that BKB that he feels, and I agree with him. I don't think there's any reason to get that one. And Odu's going to go down. Overextending, you could say, but they really desperate for farm.
The tips on this team. I mean, guys, if you want to tip anyone, tip me. I mean, I need coins for my battle pass.
Yeah.
So something tricky.
Man.
I mean, Chadawi was hunting Odu for quite a while, and he's ooh, Chelsea managing to dodge the ice blast. Next level plays. I wish I had my chat wheel to actually use that next level play. Have you heard it on the battle pass? They've actually got one of, I think, the Korean or Chinese casters actually shouting, "That is a next level play." I wish I could do it, but I can't. Actually, really funny. Anyway, they jumped themselves into. I don't have any of the chat wheels, but it's but a couple of the friends that I play with, or the stacks that I play with, they have it. They're actually really funny. That is the next level play.
I love it so much. But they got nerfed. Did you hear that? In the recent patch, you can't double them. You know, you would double them and they would talk over each other and be noisy. You can't do that anymore. They just nerfed VP. VP can't win TR now. Because of that. Fact. If anyone's wondering why VP didn't win TR this year, that's why.
That
same
chat
game.
will be nerfed. Right, well, who picked up the rush? It was already KM. So we got no, it wasn't.
No, they haven't finished it. They actually went halfway and they were a bit concerned that there might be some rotations.
Why don't I see him in the pit? Oh, there he is. Okay.
Yeah, they were busy, and then they said, okay, no, we don't feel too safe about this one, and we're not that far ahead that we can afford to lose a fight
11K.
like this.
All the
yeah, but you lose a fight like that, and things snowball very quickly out of control, and there are heroes. I mean, that means BKB's up on Odu. That means BKB's up on... Okay, BKB is up on TKC, so he's got a 10-second BKB. These fights are going to quickly become a lot harder because they're relying a lot on the lockdown and a lot on the magical damage that they have. And as soon as they can't be committing that and TKC is able to survive for much longer... Whoa! Did you see that?
I was watching.
There.
I was actually
RDK blinked on top of him, so 0 time for him to jump out, and he threw the stun immediately, and he actually jumped just in time before the stun hit him. Very, very quick fingers there from TKC.
Oh, wow. Okay. He's got unparalleled reflexes, TKC. I wish I'd actually caught that, but fortunately. So now this is what I like to play. I like to see is the safety remnant being thrown back into the base.
Yeah, he does need that. Although he does have BKB, I'm interested to see what he opts to go for next. I wonder if he goes for another defensive item, but Odu getting caught out very deep once again, so that's a bit of a problem. But he does have BKB now, but no buyback, so this is a good opportunity to fall back right back into that Roche pit. And I think Schlinks is going to TP out from me. I don't think he's going to plan on staying around.
The focus coming in from LeetPro. Just look at the amount of deaths that Odu's sitting on. And it's not like he's feeding. He's been constantly hunted across the map. I me's sitting 2 and 7 compared to the rest of his teammates. Not even the Skyroth Mage, which is an easy kill, is sitting at 2 deaths. Odu's sitting at 7. So you can just see the priority that LeetPro is giving to Odu. They do not want this Bloodseeker to run away with the game.
I can say this, you know, if he survived there's so much value in it because, oh jeez, they're in trouble.
They're trying to find Chelsea out. The swashbuckle comes onto Skyroth and to the Wind Ranger. They find Chelsea. Chadawi trying to control out Schlinks, but there comes out the Rupture onto Chadawi. Going to carry a pace up, stun him up for a little bit, but there's the Mystic Staff. Bloodright has been put down. The swashbuckle going to be tried to use that onto Odu, but he's got his BKB now as well. Yours will be Tepi. He's going to be decrepitified. Ice Blast coming out, going to catch out 3 of them. But the only one in big serious trouble will be Strike on the Skyroth Mage. In the meantime, RDK takes to task will be the Nagasari, and he goes down. ACG being brought down by TKC here on the sidelines. And rooted out will be RDK, TKC, and Odu, the only ones to still be alive. Was that actually a buyback coming out from Odu? Anyway, the jump comes in from RDK. He's going to be decrypted, fired up. Yules will be pugging in the backlines. Going to be able to pick up the kill onto Depi. RDK is going to have to get himself out of here now as well. Jumping from Remnant to Remnant. Netherward doing quite a bit of work. Chelsea trying to line up the shackle. Doesn't actually connect. And that is going to be good enough as WRG hold the high ground.
Yeah, that wasn't a buyback from Odu. He's just only level 16. Doesn't really have too many levels to make that an extended period of time when he does, so he was back pretty quick. He's having a tough game. Having a really tough.
Really is, and Radiant's up onto the Wraith King, so RDK, he's having a grand old time.
Yeah, RDK is smiling, and now he's got 3 points up into his ultimate. He's not worried about these fights. As we saw in that previous one, he was just going to walk and kill whoever dared walk his path.
Just watch this AA. He's going to get rooted out, Mystic flared out as well, and all of a sudden we do lose Whelp onto the AA. RDK trying to fight forward, going to pop out the Blade Mail. The silence or the Song of the Siren going to be used, gets his team out of there. There will be the TP, and it is going to be used as defensive. ACG trying to get in there, throw it out. The swashbuckle not going to work. But now, Scarpy, before that fight took place, I would like you to look in the career. I'm not even going to look on it. I'm not even going to look in it. Okay, I am going to now look in it. Please tell me, what item do you see in the career? Okay, no, I lie. Okay, alright. Okay, no, sorry, apologies. He's obviously moved it.
Do you think it was a rapier on the Ember?
No, click on the Ancient Apparition now, please. Please look at position 3, yes, correct.
Yeah,
how does this work?
Actually still pretty good. He gets a lot of magical damage. It was a common build at a time, I remember, where they would build it on AAs, but I mean, you know why? Because he's just split pushing. He's just going out to the other lanes, he's split pushing, so why not just do it faster, more efficiently?
Oh, wow, okay. Rolling Thunder catches out 2, going to immediately get Yules up. Chelsea going to get brought down easy peasy. Ice Blast being brought out. The Blood Right's going to be popped down. Chitawi trying to work on Schlenk. Stunned out will be TKC. Chitawi gets rooted out. So we do have Odu running around like a madman in the backlines. Not going to find anything off the back of that. Chelsea, he did buy back as well. So they did manage to get something out of this. At least the one buyback here from good old Chelsea. Blood Right comes down. Maybe try and see if they can find more. TKC still doing quite a bit of damage to those creeps. And I think actually leaving it to Odu to actually finish off. He's now trying to finish up his Radiance of his own. He's about, quick calculations, about 1800 just off that, no, about 1300 off the Sacred Relic.
Yeah, no, he's got a way to go before he gets that. But I suppose it'll be quite significant for them. I'm not so sure. Maybe they should actually get... Okay, TKC is going for a second... Oh, sorry, he's going for the Daedalus after going Maelstrom into Battle Fury.
Is this a Divine game?
It could be if the game goes for long enough. He does want to get that crit up first, though. So we talking this game lasting another 25 to 30 minutes.
It has been an age since I've seen a Divine Rapier being brought up. But Odu gonna get caught out again. Just in the wrong place at the wrong time. BKB being popped out by TKC. Gonna right click down Chadawi. Skyroth Mage in the back line. Swashbuckle's not gonna actually connect, but I think it's gonna be good enough to actually bring him down. It will be Wraith Fire Blast. Gonna still be able to put down that little bit of dot damage. Now in the back lines will be the side of LeetPro looking to push up high ground. They do lose their tier 3. Tier 3 in the top lane is also down. That's a naked Rax here in the mid. Netherward being placed down as well.
Naked Rax, in fact, so. And RDK doesn't care.
No,
he really just doesn't care.
He's got a lot. Buyback is out onto Odu. There comes Slider Fist. Going to use the Blood Right. Decryptify going to be used out to RDK, prevent him from taking damage. There's the Ice Blast being brought out. ACG going to get used up. They're going to almost clear out that last Rex. They do get it, but there's the Rupture. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Joey, we're not in the sky. RDK takes down Strike, but he's got Reincarnation, so he's all too happy with this. And he's looking for more. TKC going to be able to remnant himself to safety. Now, the Song of the Siren going to be used aggressively. Bloodright is done. RDK going to be able to blink out and not being able to catch anyone, as they did get a buyback from Odu and Schlinks. And LeetPro, they're going to look to just walk on out of there. They got their mid lane of Rex, and slowly but surely they are wearing down these objectives, yeah.
Yeah, they should come and mop up Roshan now. They should put that onto...
Well, look, buybacks are off cooldown, so why not? This is it. If WRG make a mistake, it's pretty much game.
Yeah, this should be Pugner's Aegis there, if I'm not mistaken. They put this over onto the Wraith King, I'll be quite surprised. I don't think Wraith King needs it, with 40-second cooldown on his ultimates. Yeah, they are going to look to try and contest, but I don't think they're going to get much done here.
Oh wow! Okay, so the Radiant actually got the kill on the rush, and it was a snatch by Deppy. Go Deppy, doing some good work there, snatching up the Aegis. They're going to try and spot out the Naga Siren. That TP has now been cancelled, and Naga, that is a dieback pretty much from the Naga Siren. She is down for almost a minute. This is a tough position for WRG. All the WRG fans out there, this is a tough bullet to bite, as Strike is now forced to buy back as well. LeetPro looking to push themselves up into higher ground, and Deppy did actually pick up the Aegis as you suggested, or predicted rather. Iceblast comes in, not going to find anyone. The Bloodright is going to come down. TKC throws down the side of fist, but RDK jumps forward, gets the stun off onto TKC. He's down as well. No buyback available for TKC. Odu trying to work onto Jadawi, but he goes in Viz. Chelsea gets obliterated, and Odu takes down Jadawi, and that's the only kill that they find on the back of that. But buyback will be used out by Jadawi. In the meantime, ACG trying to knock down the racks, but RDK, he wants to make Odu pay. They're going to throw down the Bloodright. Decryptify. Arcane Bolt, Lincoln's is going to be procced onto RDK. He's going to take no damage from that, and that is pretty much 2 lanes of racks for LeetPro, and WRG only got 1 racks, preventing the Megas from coming into the base. Deppy trying to work onto the Naga, going to be disarmed. They're going to use Song of the Siren. The ward is there, going to cast out the Bloodright from Odu. Not going to be good enough. It has been silenced out. RDK does have Reincarnation available. Going to be decryptified by Deppy. Going to just keep him alive from any right-click damage that does come out. That ward, are they going to decide to knock it down? And decryptify there by Deppy. And good play there. For those of you that don't know, can actually decryptify the ward from being a right-click down. Iceblast coming in. Going to be actually caught out or catch Schlinks, but Jadawi silenced up in the back lines. Or ruptured out into Jadawi. He's going to be BKB'd up. Oh, but Abyssal Blade coming out from... was it an Abyssal that I saw?
Yeah, it was
Abyssal on who?
Wraith King.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Bottom
I
right.
just missed that. Bottom right. I was saw in the BKB. Anyway, RDK back knocking down the doors of the racks. TKC, BKB's up. Is it going to be enough to bring down Deppy? He still does have the Aegis. And it still has BKB after this. So now... Oh, wow. In the back lines, Wildpig gets shredded apart here by TKC. Rolling Thunder going to be used out. Going to be chasing down TKC with the Rolling Thunder. And I finally figured out why the Yules is also being used out from the silence.
Whoa, now I see why the Yules picked up.
Well, I mean, what do you mean? That looks like...
So he rolls and then he hits them and ills himself, and as he comes down he hits them again instantly.
Well, that as well, and also if you get silenced from the Bloodseeker. So it's actually like a dual prong that eventually we see the strength of the Yules. Anyway, ACG continuing to do its work. RDK fighting under the tier 4s. All lanes of Rex are down. Megas are done. And a Rupture has been popped and wasted as Deppy's Lincolns actually took that down. ACG taking quite a chunk of damage there from the Blade Mails. Yules coming out. ACG going to try and juke out with these Yules. Odu going to get swashbuckled up and life drained out, and that is it. Odu is down for the count, and the steam is finally running out of WRG's engine, as only Chelsea and the Schlinks are back and are the only ones that can do anything to defend this throne from being taken down. But I think it is a little bit too little, too late. 32k net worth in the lead, 37-21, 42-minute game. LeetPro take the series, and WRG left wanting as unfortunately they couldn't bring home the win. Scarpy, a quick wrap-up of the night's events.
Yeah, I think LeetPro just outclassing their opponents, and they have been throughout. And I think WRG, they played well game one. It looked good. They had a patch where it looked like they could really win that game. A little bit, the wheels fell off a little bit, but here in game two, they held out for long. But I don't like to say that about a team. I don't like to say a team held out. I think they played well. They just, I don't know, maybe there's an issue with the drafting, especially up against a team like LeetPro. Maybe this sort of drafting will win all their other games, but a team like LeetPro, I think you need to come in with a completely fresh strategy. Or maybe this is them trying something new against LeetPro. I'm not too sure, but I think other than that, they did well, but LeetPro definitely looking to be probably one of the strongest teams in the country currently.
Absolutely, with the top three teams, I would say, is between WRG, LeetPro, and Sinister 5. That would be the next good game to actually see, would be the Sinister 5 versus LeetPro, to see how that pans out, especially with the changes to the squad. But I think that is going to pretty much be a wrap, Scarps. Is there anything else that you'd like to touch on before we end the cast?
Not much else. I think we had a good Friday of Dota. Let's think it's time to get something warm to drink because it is a bit frosty, and have a good evening.
Right, well, from myself, Joe and Scarpy, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube, respectively, as Scarpy Dota, at Scarpy Dota, and at Jubba Gaming on all social media websites or platforms. From ourselves, have a pleasant Friday evening. It was a short night, so you still got plenty of time to go out and get up to your shenanigans. If not, hang around, stay home, stay warm, and enjoy your good games of Dota. From ourselves, good night, and God bless.
Cheers.